Alrighty, so today we are on to episode number 8 of our Tropico 6 Rich Island playthrough. So let's get into it. Alrighty. So there's an ultimatum from the communists here, and I'm definitely not gonna do this. Instead of working for 1 year. I mean, maybe we'll deal with it, but might not be the best of things. Oh yeah. I almost forgot it. 300 spare megawatts, not bad. Could definitely get more down. Nice, so this area is looking pretty decent. Would be really nice if we could fill in all these hotels though. I guess hopefully that'll come with time. The mansions are starting to get filled in, that's nice. So the local beauty is affecting the mansion's housing quality. As long as it's not like a bunch of shacks nearby, it should be fine. But what I do want to do is something like, I should have moved these apartments over. Let's see how much they're going to cost. 2,000 per building. I mean, I could move them all over now. Might as well. Oops, wrong building there. Okay. Reason I want to move these over here is I'd kind of rather this area be full of more mansions and rich people. I mean, I reckon it's probably around time to... Well, honestly, first things first, let's get all of the people in houses. That should be like priority number 1. So we could probably do with like 2 more extra mansions. Well, they're already being constructed, so let's go ahead and do modern apartments until we're in a better situation. Come down here, I can start throwing some just sort of mixed in. I kind of feel like I should have went with the old school apartment complexes instead of modern apartments here. I mean, screw it, we're already here. It looks like we can fit 3 in a row, which is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and do something like this perhaps. I'll just quick build these so I can get a sense of what we're doing. Go ahead and get solar panel windows for everything. And like before, we'll just leave this all on the medium budget. So now let's check in on our population here. Plenty of vacant homes now. And there even is some poor people without a home. Unemployed. 2 people that work in the yacht club. Okay, so this is probably the best example that I've found so far. This is 2 people that are working in a yacht club. They're making a wage of $10 a month, right? Both of them are making a wage of $10 a month. But because the building can provide a wage that's a little bit higher, if you want them to be well off, then you need to go 1 stage higher. So that's pretty important. Like, and so I talk about in a lot of my series, the plantations, these plantations here, the normal plantations, they provide a wage, a max wage of $10 a month. And so going with this max wage will make them well off, even though it's $10 a month, and this won't. And so this is like the best example. So if we find this poor family here, these 2 here, they're getting pretty old. Let's go ahead and What we even could do is click on this guy, rename him, and just hit the check. Same thing with their wife. Rename her check. So now they are special citizens that are marked, so we can see they're both poor. And let's change their wage up to $12 a month. And now we can see they are both well off. So that's the best example I found of that so far. Before we run into financial issues or something, let's go ahead and make a house. Let's quick build it. And $5,000 free dollars, demolish the house right afterwards. I wonder why the communists are so upset. Modern mansions and offices. Well, I mean, I reckon it'll be alright eventually. Lots of business going on. Let's go ahead and bump the customs office up. A bank over here, a hospital, newspaper. Let's go ahead and change all the newspapers to deals in profit. Checking on our population. So we have plenty of vacant jobs and a large number of college. So this is like a point that you'll reach eventually, right? As you can see, the unemployment rate is all low and everything. And we're starting to get to a point where it's only green. Only college educated people don't have jobs. And so this is like, we're at the critical point where we just need to start building up offices. And we kind of are at a point where we can never stop doing that. Not can never, but like we don't need to stop. We can just build offices kind of forever. 5 people per building, which means we need in the very least 2. So let's go ahead and do 2. Let's go ahead and quick build them. And let's get a 3rd even building its way up. Max out the budget. Water coolers for, oh man, that was really expensive. I shouldn't have done that. $5,000 for water coolers. I should move this. I'm gonna move this. All of the people that work in offices can make a rich wage. Every single last one of them. So what's pretty important about that is all of these people can afford all of these mansions out here. And that's why they're full. So we're keeping things just a bit separate. The modern apartments for well-off people are going to be primarily in locations where you'll only get a well-off wage. So in the downtown area, over here in the industrial zone, but in like Old Town, where we're building up offices and lots of rich jobs, then we'll try and only have mansions over here. So these buildings are starting to generate us some pretty good money. As we can see, this one's made us 1,800 there, 17, 22. So each of them's generated like thousands of dollars. And as long as they're always full, then we'll be generating just a lot of money from the rents there. Homeless families, there's plenty of vacant homes for them. Vacant jobs, everything's looking good. And as you can see, we're up to 9 people that need a college job, and we have 10 jobs. So it gets pretty out of control pretty quickly. And so once you, like as you're building them up, you want to constantly be checking the statistics of each of them. So as we can see, official business, 410. Corporate business, 129. It's going down because we have more offices on corporate business. Which isn't great, and so we can start changing things around. So we have one on official there, and this one's on consumer, which is 400. And this one's on official, which is also 400. So let's go and change 2 of these, one to consumer and one to official. And let's see how they turn out after the end of this month here. So they were over 400. Now they're down to 300. So that's fine. And because we've changed some offices away from corporate business should make more money. So it went up, it was down to like 120, it went up a little bit. So we're just going to be sort of trying to balance things out with that. Tourist plane, that's not good. I guess it's fine because the last one evened it out, but we're trying to get more people onto the island than are leaving. I think there's actually somewhere we can check. Maybe here in the economy, tourist capacity. Okay. Tourist arrival buildings. Two airports. Okay. And so skyscraper hotels. It looks like there's 288 rooms and 230 are being used. So we have room for 50 more people or 50 more families to show up. Let's check in on our buildings. Seem to be doing alright, not great. Check in on our wealth. Only 8 poor families. Someone's working in a theater and they have an unemployed spouse. Someone's working in a manure spreader. Should have deleted that building a long time ago. Let's go and demolish that and all of the roads around. Don't really need them. Okay. She has a college education but no job. Police station. Married to someone without a job. Police station, married to someone without a job. Okay. So once people get jobs, it should be hopefully decent. Which is weird because we have plenty of vacant jobs open. Like a whole heap of them. What is kind of nice is it looks like, yeah, the 2 people working here are well off. That's nice. The college, 76 people have graduated. Very nice. Check in on our education. Yeah, look at that. Half the population's educated. That's pretty good. We just need to get over half the population into the rich class. Wealth tax on top of private banking might be really cool to see. I think everything's pretty squared away with downtown and with the old part of the town. Like there's not a whole lot more that I can do. We just need more time, so I want to spend some time considering how exactly I want our industrial zone to turn out. So let's look at something kind of simple. Let's go luxury goods. So I want to make, well, let's go with consumer goods. Let's make furniture. And on top of that, we can make the luxury good boats. So that's not bad. All we need to do is purchase ourselves a warehouse. And we just need to put the warehouse somewhere. Maybe here's a good spot. Let's go ahead and quick build that. And what we want to do is come and find planks. So planks, and then scroll to the top and make this entire thing only for planks. So now we have this plank warehouse here. Let's go ahead and rename it to plank warehouse. Plank warehouse. Okay. So there's this place. And now all we need to do is find a trade deal where we import planks. Hopefully a decent trade deal. We can get, ooh, look at that. Planks at a pretty cheap discount. That's nice. So I could pick up the entire set, like all of the planks here. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. So, we're importing something, right? And let's check how much the planks are worth. Process resources and links. No, we need to go to the trade menu. Goods and prices. Let's scroll all the way down, try and find planks around here somewhere. Oh wow, look at that. Planks are really cheap right now. So we're importing planks, and they cost around $1,000 for 1,000 units of planks, so that's pretty cheap. And then we're gonna turn that into furniture. So we're importing something, we're changing what it is, and then we're selling it for around 13 times as much money. So that's the racket we're gonna be running today. So let's go ahead and find, we don't need to build a lumber mill, we don't need to go and do a logging camp, we can just make a furniture factory. So that is a pretty neat way of going about things. I like it here, that looks like a good spot. Then what we can do is put a park here. And honestly, let's just do one more Teamster's office. Let's put this on high priority and hit play. So they're going to make the furniture factory, which is really decent. Alternatively, so when you're doing something like this where you're not producing your own goods, you're like focusing on imports, that's when stuff like this, plastics, we can make, like we could just import plastics and make furniture from it. So let's see how expensive plastics are. Goods and prices. So plastics are 2.5 times more expensive than planks, so it makes sense to do planks here. So there's all sorts of really neat things that we can do. No electricity here, I wonder why. We should have enough. Oh, we do. Over here, people don't really need to, we can just focus on like just work here in the industrial zone. Main reason being is that if someone wants to go like have fun or go to church or something, they can just hop in the metro station and they can show up at any of these blue points here. They can come down to the beach, they can go to Old Town here, they can show up next to the cathedral, or they can go to downtown. Yeah, so it's pretty neat to have systems set up with the metro stations. Let's check in on this. We're making fish, very nice. Oh, we should look for a stupid coconut import as well. I mean, we could import coconuts for like way more than they're worth. Not the best, so I think I'm gonna wait on it. I do want to pick them up though. And so what I should do is the coolest thing in the whole game, Caribbean Trade Pact Association. Let's go ahead and research it. So this is going to be really huge. What we're going to be doing is I want to get the Trade Institute. Now what we can do is, well, first off, it provides a forecast of market trends, as you can read there, and allows to manually provoke market trends. So what this all means is, like, let's go to the trade menu, check something out real quick. As we can see, the market, bananas, their prices is like fluctuating and stuff. And so sometimes with certain things, like this is in an upward trend, canned goods, right? So you can see it's like going up because of this green arrow here. Sometimes things go into a downward trend. It looks like weapons are going up, so producing weapons could be good. All sorts of things can happen. And so what you can imagine is getting stuff that's low down here and making it cheaper is pretty insane. So imagine if we made planks down to like $500 for 1,000 units. What that would mean is that we could import them for insanely cheap. Maybe even like close to 100% off. Things could get pretty spicy. And so we're going to use the Trade Institute, is that what it's called? Trade Institute, to influence the things at the bottom, make them even cheaper. And then on top of that, so we're going to get like, not raw resource, but yeah, raw resources, and what are these called? Processed resources. So raw and processed. So that's going to be things like planks, plastics, stuff like that. Stuff that's already processed in an industry building. And then raw resources, we can do stuff like, let's try and find something decent. We could import cloth. Actually, cloth is processed, right? Coconuts, of course, we were talking about that already. So coconuts, aluminum, oil will be a good one. We could import gold and turn it into jewelry. It all just depends, you know? So we could take gold at like, what would it say, like 7,000 and turn it into jewelry, so around twice as expensive. We can get cloth for really cheap and turn it into apparel, something a bit more expensive. Let's go and look at cloth. Cloth 5,000, raw resources, consumer resources. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing, is kind of taking advantage of the markets and stuff, even going so far with our trade institute to influence these. And so another thing we can do is stuff that's on the top of the stuff that's at the top here. Like, imagine cars, it's 29,000 for 1,000 units of cars, but imagine if we got it to like 45,000. Same thing with weapons. It's already in an upward trend, but it would be nice to hit this with another upward trend. Smart furniture, that could be good. Apparel. And so what I want to do is, with these planks, make furniture, and then we can import electronics, maybe even just produce electronics. What do we need for electronics? Plastics and gold. So we'll import gold and plastics, maybe even produce our own plastics, because if I import oil, we can make plastics, and then on top of that we can make pharmaceuticals. That might be good. There's just a lot to think about. But either way, we're making furniture, and my ultimate goal is to mix furniture with electronics to make smart furniture. So that's going to be pretty neat. There's not a lot that I can do. Total surveillance, like, yeah, right, I'm not doing that. Hopefully it's not, like, what I'm really hoping is that it's only communists that go on strike, because most of the population is capitalist, so most of the population will keep working, which will be nice. Let's go ahead and do ye old TV station. Somewhere right here in the middle will affect like everything. So let's go ahead and do that. I like this spot. Go ahead and quick build it, put it on the max budget. And let's change this to, well, first we should research it. Oh yeah, so now I'm looking at the research menu here. We're going to use the Trade Institute to influence the market, right? And so then, based on percentages, we can affect those prices even further. The main one is with the customs office. So here we can get export deals. Scroll to the top here. All of these export deals, we can make them a percentage more expensive, right? So here, what this all means is, what the standard price for 1,000 units of jewelry is 16,500. But right now, if we were just selling jewelry straight onto the market, we're actually making more than that. So auto export, that's what that means. If it's just automatically sold out of the dock, that's what we'll make. And then how much we're making on this specific route is the bottom one here, route income. So $20,320, right? So that's a 23% increase from the auto export, right? And so what we can do is make this percentage, this 23%, even larger. And then if we come down here to imports, you can see most of them are red. All this stuff's red. Every once in a while we'll find a green one, mainly from superpowers. Superpowers will sell, like, give you decent deals, right? And so we can make these even cheaper. But we're gonna do something completely crazy. I'm gonna do something absolutely wild, a bit of internationalism. And so what I want to do is, in the research here, we're researching the Caribbean Trade Pact Association. So we're gonna use Trade Institute, affect the prices, customs office, make stuff cheaper, and then on top of all of that, we have the Caribbean Trade Pact Association creates one random export trade for each of the Caribbean trade partners, right? So what this means is these import deals down here, as we can see, this is from Mexico, right? This one's from the Dominican Republic. We have Venezuela over here. A lot of these are Caribbean countries. And they're the ones giving us these terrible deals. But once we activate the Caribbean Trade Pact Association, these import deals from them, we'll get one from each of them, so like 3 or 4, and they'll be really, really, really good deals. Really good deals. And so, as you can imagine, if we had previously influenced the market to bring down the resources we need to run our industry, on top of that, we're using the customs office to get a better deal. And then finally, on top of all of that, we're adding the Caribbean Trade Pact Association. We can get goods for less than 1,000. We can get like everything we need for less than 1,000, I reckon. $1,000 per unit, that is, or per 1,000 units. And so that's like the ultimate goal. So it's going to take a little bit of time to set up, but it will be pretty interesting. And so what we'll end up doing is all of these warehouses, we'll get a number of them, like planks, right? So you can imagine getting planks for 400, 300, 200, instead of right now it's at 1,000. So then we'd be importing planks for an insanely low amount. And then say we get plastics on top of that. And then say we get, so plastics and gold. Let's say we got plastics and gold, and let's say those were roughly around 1,000. So we had 1,000 for each of those, 2,500, somewhere around there for the entire bit, like everything combined. And then we turn that all into smart furniture. So we'd be making a lot of money off of stuff that initially didn't cost that much. So it'll be really cool once everything's said and done. So planks, it looks like this is a bit of the, what's it called, the sketchiness. So as we can see here, we imported 1,000 units of planks, right? But they sat here in the dock. No one's come to pick them up. So that means that this 1,000 units of planks is just going to be sold. Oh, actually, no, this guy's going to pick it up, hopefully in time. Come on, buddy, you got it. Did he get it? No, I don't think he got it. Oh, wow, look, he actually did get it, and he picked up another 500. Okay, that's really cool. So what I did was I made this Teamster's office. Plank. Oh no, communist strike.
It is time for industrial action.
Industrial action. Anyways, let's rename this to Planks Teamsters. Okay, so now what I did was an emergency job. So these 6 employees here, their only job is to pick up planks from the dock and bring them back to the warehouse. So we'll guarantee that planks are never going to be left here, because as we can see, there is this guy here, and his only job is to pick up those planks. Let's see what he's going to do. Yep, he's going to pick up planks and bring them to the plank warehouse. And then other people, all the other Teamsters, what they'll do is grab the planks and put them in stuff like the furniture factory here. Assembly line. So CAD software, this could be really important, right? So let's go and pick it up. Workers require high school education, decreases plank consumption by 25%. So that's pretty important because we're working on imports, right? So it's important to get the most out of these imports as we can. So that's why we'll do that. And it'll probably take a little bit of time, but eventually someone should come along and, well, first off, let's bump up all the Teamsters to the max budget. Someone will probably come along, pick up planks out of here, and deliver them to this furniture factory. Actually, let's put this on allow processing. The reason I don't like going with allow processing is because every once in a while, Teamsters will pick up these goods, and then they'll bring them to the dock, which is really annoying, right? Like, that's what we were just trying to get around. Caribbean Trade Pact Association's done. I mean, screw it. Let's do a little test. Let's check it out. What really sucks about the Caribbean Trade Pact Association, though, is the Caribbean Happiness. Caribbean Happiness gets a sharp increase that decreases slowly over time. But what's major about this is that your population compares their happiness to the Caribbean Happiness, right? So if your overall happiness is way below Caribbean happiness, then your support is going to be dragged down. And so the reason that's important is that if the Caribbean happiness shoots up, then your support goes down. So we're going to lose support, but I think it will be worth it, at least if the election's far enough away. It's 3 years away. I mean, we have access to tax breaks, so I think we'll be okay. So let's go ahead and, well, before we do it, you want to make sure your customs office is tip-top. So let's hire 2 new foreign workers. Oh, we can't research. No, it's not worth it right now. Because what I'd want to do is research the customs office. Like 100% you want to research this thing. Let's also research the TV station. I forgot to do that. Cold War. TV station. Okay. Customs office first and then that. Let's focus on getting our population's happinesses up if we can. So fun happiness, it looks like they're not having fun. I reckon the reason probably has something to do with the fact that anything they do have for fun is probably filled up with tourists constantly. Let's go ahead and get this here. Put in 2 parks. Maybe these 2 here. And let's come over here, and you know what I want to do is something like the Bellagio. Just a bunch of fountains in front of it. I think that looks fine. Okay. So, I think this video's definitely scratching near the 30-minute limit, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a like. And if you want to follow along with more Tropico 6 series like this, then be sure to subscribe. Peace.